Hi everyone, welcome to our third video talk about China IP. First, I want to briefly introduce myself. My name is Abraham Chen. I have 10 years of experience working as IP consultant and trademark attorney in China. I'm currently working with Rouse, a global leader in IP services, and Rouse's affiliate LexIP, which is a premium online IP services provider in China. Over my past 10 years of career, I have provided IP legal services to many multinational corporations like Mars, Savencia, Servia, BP, Gucci, Subaru, UBS, etc. Today, we're going to talk about trademarks in China, specifically on trademark refusals. In general, there are two different types of grounds for trademark refusal in China. First is absolute grounds, second is relative grounds. Today, we're focusing on absolute grounds. Under absolute grounds, there are two circumstances. First is grounds which are against trademark use, which means any mark under these grounds can not only be registered as trademarks, but also cannot be used as trademarks. Another circumstance is the grounds which are against trademark registration, which means any mark under these grounds can not be registered as trademarks, but they can still be used as trademarks. So let's begin. First, we're going to talk about the absolute grounds which are against trademark use. This is mainly due to Article 10 of Trademark Law of PRC. Totally, there are 9 different items of rules which specifically regulate dozens of circumstances under which watermarks cannot be used and registered as trademarks. So, as next step, I'm going to go through them one by one. First, as you can see, China's country names, national flags, national emblems, and other types of marks related to China images cannot be registered and used as trademarks. So there are some examples here. As you can see, this mark is quite similar to China's name. This mark is quite similar, nearly identical to China's national flag. And this mark, it means Xinhuamen. Xinhuamen is where China's central government is located, so it cannot be used and registered as trademarks. And this one is almost identical to China's military flag, so they cannot be used and registered as trademarks in China. Second, foreign countries' names, national flag, national emblems, and other relative images and marks cannot be registered and used in China as trademarks unless the involved country approves the mark's registration. For instance, as you can see, this mark contains France, which is France's name, and this mark is quite similar to national flag of USA. And this one is Union Jack, which is the description of UK's national flag. So they cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China. But if the different involved countries approve them, they can still be registered and used as trademarks in China. So how to prove that we are allowed by the involved countries So in practice, the most acceptable evidence is the trademark registration certificates granted by these involved countries like France, USA, UK, which says they already approved the registration of these marks as trademarks in their own countries. So that's the most acceptable evidence. So this is the third circumstance, which is intergovernmental organizations' names, flags, emblems, etc. These marks cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China unless the involved IGO approves the mark's registration, or consumer confusion is unlikely to happen. So two examples here. First is UN, which is the abbreviation of United Nations, and this is WTO, which is the abbreviation of World Trade Organization. So typically they cannot be normally registered and used as trademarks in China. And this one is any mark identical or similar to the official logo or hallmark, which indicates control or assurance. They cannot be used and registered as trademarks in China, except they are duly authorized by relevant entities. So I want to briefly explain on this. So what does this mean? There are some official logo or hallmark which are used to, prove some products have passed the quality examinations of some authorities. Like this one, 3C, letter C. This mark is used by China's Quality Control Center to indicate that any company or any product bearing this mark, their products have already passed the examination checks by this authority. So consumers can naturally trust the product quality of their companies. So if you want to register and use this mark as trademark in China, you have to get the authorization of the said Quality Control Center of China. And this example is related to banks. And this mark is actually used by Central Bank of China to prove that other banks with this mark have been authorized to, change currencies into other currencies for consumers. So if you want to register this mark as trademarks in China, you have to get authorized by China's central bank. But this circumstance is not common to see in our practice, so this is just for you guys' reference. And this number 5, any mark identical or similar to the name or logo of Red Cross, Red Crescent, they cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China, such as you see Red Cross, Red Crescent, and this mark, as it contains a device which is quite similar to Red Cross, so it cannot be allowed to be registered and used as trademarks in China. Next one is a mark which is racially discriminatory. It cannot be used and registered as trademarks, such as Indian. This mark, when it designates toilet products, the Trademark Office of China will deem it as discriminating against Indian people, so it cannot be allowed for registration and use as trademarks in China. Next one is a mark which is deceptive, easy to cause the public to be misled on the characteristics such as quality or place of origin of products. This rule seems to be quite complicated. I'm going to explain them to you about two examples here. First is this mark blue arrow 850 milliliters. This mark designates mineral water. It was refused because the China Trademark Office may believe this part may be used to describe the quantity of a bottled mineral water. As the Trademark Office cannot be sure whether the applicant is going to use this mark on products more than 850 milliliters or less than 850 milliliters. So they feel if they do use this mark on the water products more or less than 850 milliliters, they can be quite deceptive to consumers. So this mark cannot be registered and used as trademarks. Actually, I don't think it is necessary to contain this part in the trademark because this part is simply a description of the quantity of the water contained in the bottles. So it's not distinctive, even though you get it registered as one part of the trademark, you cannot enforce it. If other manufacturers use 850 milliliters on their mineral water products, you cannot prohibit them to do so simply based on your trademark rights. And this example is MK Spirit Paris. However, the applicant's address isn't related to Paris at all. So the examiners feel, since your address, you're not from Paris, but you use Paris in your trademark, this is quite deceptive or misleading. So it cannot be registered as trademarks and used as trademarks in China. So this one is a mark which is detrimental to socialist morals or has any other adverse impact. I'm listing here 3 examples. First one, its problem is it contains 911. 911 is the day Bin Laden attacking USA, so it's notorious day for terrorism attacks. It cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China because China authorities feel this may kind of encourage terrorism, which is detrimental to socialist morals or have any other bad influences. And this mark contains Mecca. Mecca is the holy city for Muslims. So if it gets registered as one part of a trademark, China authorities may feel it may have some bad influences on the Islam followers. And this mark contains this part, which is almost identical to the sign of EU currency. So this is also deemed as detrimental to socialist morals or have any other adverse impacts. And next one, there are 2 specific circumstances. First, any mark identical or similar to China's geographical names of administrative regions of county level and above, it cannot be registered and used as trademarks. At least one example here, you see this mark contains Dalian. Dalian is a municipal level city in China, which is also a quite famous city in China. So it cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China. And this one and this one relates to number 9.2 circumstance, which is overseas geographical names well known to the public cannot be registered and used as trademarks. So Olympia is a famous Greek city which is related to Olympic Games, and Warsaw is the capital of Poland, which is also quite known to the public of China. So typically they cannot be registered and used as trademarks in China, except they have any other meaning or are integral parts of some collective trademarks or certification marks. So next one, we're coming to the end of today's video talk about China IP. If you have more questions, please do not hesitate to contact us by my mobile phone here and my email address here. Thank you.